in my head. I was listening to the piano version by Ramin Djawadi. Oh, hi, everyone.
Hey,
we're live. Wow. You didn't hear that. What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday. This is the final prediction preview stream before the finale of Westworld Season 3 tonight. Man. Really excited for the episode. I think, are we going to have our minds blown tonight? Let's just jump right into it. Now, before we jump into it, let's introduce the co-host of this.
Host. We're all hosts now.
Hosts. We're all hosts. Welcoming the host of the stream today, we have Sean Cowboy Top.
Glad to have you all. Glad to meet y'all down the trail. I'm happy to join y'all over here. I don't exactly know what's going on. I was in my favorite saloon, and then I ended up on a goddamn robotic live stream with you fucking weird sons of bitches. But hey,
that's where the stream is going today. Eh? All right, then.
Totally,
it's going to be wacky. Welcome, Sean. And then we have the Draces, Dustin and Morgan. What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
You know, doing great.
You sound so convinced.
That didn't sound very convincing. Are you?
Yeah,
sure?
right. You know, I'm not on the verge of tears, but I mean, like, that's the one thing is that, like, doing these types of things has been like a lovely little respite from the you know what I mean? Like, this is like our Westworld kind of. It's our version of Westworld. It's our little.
YouTube is a form of escapism.
Yeah.
100%.
A lot of awesome people have been reaching out. But how are you? You guys are holding up there, Dustin and Morgan. We're good.
Yeah, we're great.
And ready to chat some Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome. Oh, and some tea. I'm only having water today. I mean,
there's whiskey in it. Don't worry.
Oh, damn. Okay.
There we go.
So we got some awesome people in chat. Before we jump into the stream, for everyone that's joining today, links in the description of the video of the guests. So if you want to go check them out, subscribe, say good things, nice things to them. Do that. But let's go with the chat. We have a donation from Maura Lee. She says, hype and love, looking forward to watching the last episode of season 3 of Westworld after today. So she's tossing some coins to her YouTubers. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
With Anne Chasson. I was feeling a little bit under the weather earlier this week, and she sent me a nice message. So thank you, Anne. Nice to see you. Carl, we have Call Me Blondie, who's we're going to talk about that theory that you're talking about. I ended up searching it, Blondie. Carson Page, Steel Rain, Rick Hoppy, the Maester of Coffee, Chris Lloyd, Carson Page, Giancarlo, Louise, Tyler. Oh, there's Dustin Drace. Okay, that's you.
He's Serac. He's in here. He's over there. He's in the comments. He's in real life.
I can't forget to shout at this person. Then I realize it's Dustin. Okay, so welcome everyone. Maura, if you have a question, I sent you a message. Let us know. We will get to that for sure. So tonight, big finale. It's called Crisis Theory. Certainly interesting, which takes influence from Marxist ideas, dealing with money and hierarchy and stuff like that. So that's going to be really interesting. But we got an episode with 76 minutes. They added an extra minute. So that's going to be really interesting. Maybe they added an extra after credit scene. I'm expecting that will happen tonight.
They salt bayed a little extra minute on there. They just sprinkled a little bit on there for us, right? Just one extra minute of mind fuckery for us, you know.
But there's a lot that has to go down tonight. Carson, we will get to your question. Thank you for the donation. But yeah, like we got to go. Let's just go balls to the walls. Let's go all tinfoil, everything for this stream, because this is kind of the last one before. Like, we were talking before the stream about some things that we think might happen, but I was like, I don't know. We've had a pretty, like, straightforward type of thing, except for the big Dolores reveal this season, as opposed to some, like, season 2 was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Timeline. Season 1 had the mystery box, which was my favorite season so far. But we're at the end of season 3 now, Sean. Where are we kind of going with this, man? Like, there's a lot that has to happen.
Okay, yeah, there is a lot that has to happen, because I will say, we talked about this on the Westworld Wednesdays thing, which we will be joining after the hopefully the episode is completely laid waste to everybody's, it's going to lay waste to a lot of things. Hopefully our emotions, hopefully our expectations will be met, and then also just I'm very excited. I'm excited for all of the things that this episode has to do, but this episode does have to do a lot, because I will say, and I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this as well, Kyle, it's like the Caleb thing was relatively not as nearly as complex as I think that we were kind of speculating that it could have been, or whatever it was.
No, Caleb is Serac, like we
yeah,
had
right.
Serac's brother.
But I have a new one.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
There's a new one that I like that I found because William's number in the rehabilitation number is the same as Caleb's number.
Right on the tablet,
Caleb's
right?
William now.
So they're the same.
They're the same.
He can't be two like younger, hotter versions of himself. They would have to use the same
Jimmy
actor.
Simpson and Aaron Paul.
Yeah,
No,
right?
it can't be both a McPoyle and a Pinkman.
Well,
Come on.
Well, we should
McPoyle
discuss.
and Pinkman.
So Morgan, then I guess, I mean, like, is William in another timeline then? Like, we've kind of seen, like, the stuff that happened at the end of season 2 was really interesting, because we got the flash forward scene after the season, right? Where his daughter Emily is in the forge, and she's like, yeah, your world has been destroyed, like, many years later. And then, like, but, you know, he goes down the elevator, but he's on the beach, right? So those two things don't line up, because he's on the beach and he gets helicoptered out of there because he was badly hurt. Okay, like almost dead, shot and shit.
True.
Then we have that. So who knows? We don't know what's going on with the timelines.
Right. I mean, like, it's so far as the time, but to that point, I mean, like, because again, I'm getting a wee bit of and not nearly in the same way, because I will say, I'll say this. I mean, like, I will take a uncomplicated, kind of more of a streamlined story if it makes sense, as opposed to like out of left field. Like there's absolutely, you know, like something that actually is prefaced by something that's within the text of the show. I'll take something that is kind of uncomplicated and just kind of like a forward motion type of melodramatic kind of move over something that kind of seemingly comes out of nowhere. Because the thing with Caleb kind of reminded me, and the fact that it just kind of turned out like they just kind of reprogrammed they sprinkled a little reprogramming on him, and that was, you know, and it was okay. And they changed his memories and stuff like that, and it wasn't nearly as complicated as we thought it was. I mean, and I know we do this all the time, but it kind of refers back. It reminds me of Thrones when Arya was getting ready was trying to get out of Bravos and ended up getting stabbed by the waif or whatever. And people were kind of like overthinking it, where they were just like, she went out there to like lure her or whatever. And in that case, it was just stupid, bad writing. I don't think that this is the case here, but I do think that it is like the things like that's the cool thing about this show, is that it allows our imagination to kind of bloom in such a fun and interesting way. And so there wasn't a lot of big reveals that happened in the last episode, but which makes me think that there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff in this episode. It was kind of going back to the chess analogy. They were kind of moving the pieces. I mean, like, we literally kind of positioned ourselves in all these different
the end game.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the fact that it's 76 minutes, they got that extra minute. You got to have that extra minute. But the fact, you know what I mean? We just got to get it in there. But I do think that this is going to be the one. I would hope that they would pack in like a Dolores, we're all Dolores reveal type of a twist type thing in this episode. And that's where I think we're going to get it. I think that's what's going to happen for sure.
It's really interesting. Let me ask you this question, Dustin and Morgan. One thing that Dolores specifically said in the last episode was like this idea of leading. Like, she thinks Caleb is someone who has been overlooked, but she sees she thinks that he possesses these qualities that he can overcome whatever path Rehoboam has set out for him. Yeah. And what's really interesting, if we go back to the conversation between Teddy and Dolores about the Judas cow.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh.
She's seeing Caleb as this Judas type of figure for hosts into the real world. So that is something that's really interesting, because those two conversations are very, very similar.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the word leading, because in both scenarios, she's talking about the cow, and, you know, she's talking to Teddy about all these different, like the blue fly tongue thing, and then the other stuff. But that is pretty interesting. So what do we think about that?
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think she's like, oh, you're a natural leader and you should rule all the world. To Caleb, it's definitely she's using him as he is a cog in her grander design for sure.
So, Louise brings up something in the chat here that is actually something I was thinking a lot about, is that you had mentioned when we talked at the top about having a Serac and Jean-Mi, kind of battle in this. So I think that there's a correlation between Jean-Mi and Solomon and Dolores. So when we see the other host in Berlin, maybe it's Jean-Mi, or maybe it's Dolores Prime, or maybe somehow Solomon and Dolores Prime are the same thing.
Sure.
And so that's kind of, and then that would explain why the outliers of William and Caleb are so fascinating and so integral to Dolores / Solomon / Jean-Mi's plan. That's kind of like where I'm thinking it might go.
Sure.
Because we saw Jean-Mi in like cryo state, right? Mm-hmm. Which was kind of tragic, right? Because we learned.
Yeah, so he's in like that, like the nature state. He's in the cryo.
And we've learned more about his backstory than I would say Serac's. Right? Like that's been a really interesting thing.
Well, that goes to my thing where I think that we might. I think that this is. It's a bit of this is going to be my little prediction. This is going to be my little.
Ooh, here we go, baby.
All right. So I'm thinking in the same way that Serac's brother is Solomon, I think that Serac is going to be Rehoboam. I think that he's going to, because he's always like, it would be a pretty amazing poetic twist in the fact that like from where we started with Westworld, where it's like the hosts are machines that are actually human. And now we have like, and insofar as Serac and in this grand design of humanity that the human is actually a machine, you know what I mean? Type of a twist. I mean, because he's always like, he's so ubiquitous. His fingers are in every single pot. It seems like he's the type of guy that would like take a look at the whole thing and be like, well, what do I need this stupid fucking body for? If I can assimilate myself into this, assimilate myself into this system and stuff like that, if I can do that and be that much more powerful and keep my finger over that many more buttons to keep the lid on this thing.
Wasn't that like a lawnmower man or like a Johnny Mnemonic sort of thing? Like he's like in the Matrix, in the machine.
It's a very 90s type of a fucking concept. Going with
it's so interesting that Ford got Dolores to kill him. Like
yes.
You know what I mean? Like part of this game, he always talks about the game. Like, are we still we're still seeing some of Ford's narratives play out? Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming we're going to see something happen tonight, specifically to relate to Ford. Let's actually go back to what Blondie was saying. She kind of blew my mind because I went to check on Reddit after she was talking about this, and she specifically references the bicameral mind. And in the triangle, when Ford's talking about kind of like the layers of consciousness, the hierarchy, like what's at the top of the pyramid, what's at the bottom, you know what I mean? Reveries, all of these things, he talks about loops. But what's really interesting is someone zoomed in on his vest, okay? And there's all these little triangles everywhere. Right. Okay, whatever, not a big deal. But then you look at Rehoboam and there's triangles everywhere. And you have to wonder, Rehoboam, like Ford talking about this predicting human loops, predicting house loops, how predicting human loops are easy. If Ford is in the fucking machine, like something like that's in play. Enguerrand Serac, maybe there's a bigger reveal with him because we're seeing him as a hologram a bunch of different times. Mm-hmm. I don't know, something like something with Ford is happening, right?
Yeah, I think that there's something to that for sure. Or at least I think that we'll get it. I don't know. That's the thing. I was thinking about this. I was like, are we going to get I don't think that Ford's going to show up. I don't think that we're going to see him. We might see maybe a visage of him or something. I think there'll be some cool callbacks to him. I don't know if he's actually going to be in it, but yeah, we are still. And you think about the whole other reason as insofar as like why he wanted to do this, why he wanted to bring Westworld down and empower Dolores in the way that he did. And is it because that's a relationship that I actually would have loved to have seen. Thinking about it, would you have loved to? I would love to see a scene between Serac and Ford.
Yeah, that would be.
How amazing would that be?
You know what's really interesting though? When Dolores is talking, and Morgan and Dustin, you can comment on this. What voice would you like me to use? Imagine we get Ford in this episode.
Oh my God, they're like, yeah, just do Ford's voice.
Anthony Hopkins coming. That would just be like a big oh shit.
That would be.
I mean, he could have recorded it at his house. Like it would have been that hard to do it. Like throw him some money. Easiest work he ever made.
No, I mean, yeah, you know, Sir Anthony, he would definitely be like, "Can I do this on the Skype?" You know what I mean? Like he'd be like, "Yeah." But to have him. So I do think that we are going to get maybe one kind of I think we're going to get like one kind of crazy callback. I just think it's going to be I think Teddy or Ford.
Well, apparently he was
are in the cards to show up for sure.
Apparently he was doing some filming this season, and it would be like a big. I mean, Dolores, something that Dolores obviously shared a huge connection with, and a large part of that story is the connections to Dolores. And kind of her path. What are your thoughts on kind of some of the bigger things that are going to happen tonight, Dustin? Like, what are some predictions that you have for tonight? Some of the like a bigger surprise that you can see happening tonight.
Yeah, I mean, aside from all, I'm really enjoying all the crackpot theories. I love the host, and it's like a nesting doll of host inside of a host, inside of a computer, inside of a host, inside the future, inside War World, inside of whatever. Like nothing makes sense. I'm here for it. I fucking love it. But I do think that we are going to see we have to see this last host, like that. They have to go to Berlin.
They can't keep mentioning this host and then not show it.
And I think that we're going to see Dolores back in Westworld, but as a flashback. I don't think they're, necessarily like going back there.
Well, I'm thinking because her and Maeve are like, offline or whatever, like maybe, do they do the host dream, or would their like mind pearl go somewhere where they would like talk to the other like offline hosts? Like maybe that's how we get the Teddy in it, where wherever they go when they're dead, maybe she's hanging out with Teddy somewhere on the cloud, up in the cloud.
Yeah.
He's in like the Valley Beyond, but is that on the cloud?
9.
Yeah.
Cloud server 9.
Yeah. I like that.
But I can't think of how else they would bring Teddy back unless they just used his body.
Oh, they printed him but
it wouldn't be his pearl isn't like
I think they
viable.
Damaged it, right? Because
they went to the
Beyond or whatever.
That's right.
The Beyond, and you can't really get them back once they're there, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, just give the writers.
There are no rules in this. So
it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing as sort of like a comic book. It's like we killed Superman. Whoops, we didn't. What I mean? Like it's kind of like that whole thing where there's always. But
I'd like them to do less of that.
No, I agree.
The thing about Westworld is though, like we were just talking about, the comment by Dolores on the, which cow is going to lead the pack. Yeah. That goes all the way back early season 1. Like there's so many things, like everything is connected. Like if they're writing something in you, like it's not like the bad pussy stuff we heard in Game of Thrones. It's not like something that is complete, you know what I mean? Like literally everything is so relevant. Like even when William says you're a fucking like the can opener shit, like he's probably gonna kill Stubbs. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? In Westworld, it's like
right. Yeah, that was. Yeah. What did you think? Hold on. I do want to go back. Not to backtrack, but just because I know that you're such a William stan.
Oh shit. Yeah. Ed Harris stan and Jimmy Simpson.
No, absolutely. No. No, because he's fantastic. No matter what he's doing, whether I like it or not, insofar as what the character is doing, Ed Harris is always killing it. I just want to pick your brain about this just a little bit. Kyle, we were talking about we were all talking about this on the chat where it's like, were you a wee bit disappointed in? Did you think that maybe that William he didn't really go because like as soon as he got up, he started kind of fucking like you know what I mean, like, and he's kind of like, do you think that he kind of reverted? He kind of regressed.
Sorry, Sean.
I think he went out for a little bit.
Your video's going nuts.
Sean, you're gonna have to repeat everything you said. Yeah,
Sean, you're inside Rehoboam.
Yeah. Oh, he's being assimilated into Rehoboam. Oh shit!
They got me. I've been assimilated. No,
Rehoboam
I'm so sorry.
is the night, like the Westworld version of the Night King. He's trying to take over Sean. So
yeah.
Okay, now we got you back. You seem to be going.
Cool. Sorry about that, yo.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, but I was gonna say, like, did you? Because we were all talking about how we kind of thought that William kind of slightly thought he was going to be kind of like a bit more different when like once he kind of got out, because he's been going through this kind of metamorphosis and been, you know, this crazy internal journey, and then as soon as he gets out, he's like, you guys are a fucking can opener and I fucking hate every one of you and blah blah blah, and it just kind of seemed like it was like, oh, William going William. Like,
he seems back in Westworld again.
A little bit.
Like he seems like the guy I met way back in season one.
A little bit. And so I was just wondering if you got a tinge of that, or what your read on that was, Kyle, a little bit. Did you feel that a little bit?
The one thing that he does announce that's different though is he does say, like, I want to kill every single fucking host. That wasn't the case before. Like, he was using them as a means to gather information and build wealth. Like, that was like a huge thing. And he's like, what a big mistake I made. You know what I mean? And at least he's admitting that. I'm not saying his intentions are great.
Oh, no, I know. because I know that he's one of your favorite characters. It's like that's the other thing. It's like, you can love a character, but not necessarily like identify with everything that
he's the human version of Dolores. As far as for like, Dolores is searching for free will and freedom and this ability to make choices and like not have people like essentially choose her life path. Right. And William is questioning the same thing, right? Like, that's such a big part of Will. It's like that's his core loop. Like, it goes back to him being a kid, like all of these different things, you know, the relationships that he had and stuff. So I think that we're going to see something there. I was a little bit disappointed, definitely, in the last episode, though. Like, it was like there was some comedy there, but there wasn't really like a lot of character growth in the last episode for him. So they probably saved it for the last episode for him.
Hopefully,
right?
Right. And also, just like, I mean, it's like again, like we were talking about this, like, was it programmed in Bernard or Stubbs to be fucking idiots around him, because they just let him go get a shotgun in the
They're better writers than that, so I have to believe. I'm like a believer that they were letting him get the gun. And they're gonna let him believe that he is in control, but he's doing exactly what he was meant to do. That
would be
because Bernard see what I did? I can't even pronounce it. Whatever. Bernard. He's like, we kind of need him. You know what I mean? And stuff is like, let's fucking cap his ass.
I would also just like to point out that a cadre of YouTubers just gave some writers some credit. So it happens. We don't all just shit on writing staff of shows.
We're not just.
We do believe in you, Westworld. We do believe you are great writers. We do believe that Jonathan and Joy, like, they are great writers.
No, the one thing about this show is, like, even when sometimes the like character development for me isn't always there, but the writing itself is really, really smart. Yeah. And so, I would be shocked if they just were like.
I mean, Lisa Joy, I believe she graduated from Stanford, or was it Harvard? One of the two. Both prestigious. Now I'm a host. I can't pronounce shit. So both me and Sean are revealed as hosts today. Justin and Morgan are not hosts.
We're getting all kinds of twists over here on this.
It's great. It is the finale.
I wish I was a host. Take myself offline.
Let's do a couple more shout-outs. But don't do that, please. Anyways, Giancarlo, Shifty, what's going on? By the way, chat, loving the hype for tonight. Yeah. Lots of great comments. I'm still, as we're having the conversation, we're definitely going to talk about some of the topics you're talking about.
Hell yeah.
So don't think we're not watching, because we are.
We are.
And we saw her earlier. Giancarlo, Shifty, Chris Lloyd, Katrine, one of the patrons of the channel, Rick Hoppy, one of the patrons, Amy Collins Russell, who is on the Zor Hype team for Game of Thrones season 8.
Hell yeah.
Know. Yeah, she's awesome. And I just wanted to give a couple of shout. I saw Peter and Tyler and all sorts of guys. Keep on putting awesome comments and questions in the chat. We're gonna get to them.
One real quick. I want to do just one real quick shout out to Anne Chisholm over there. She joined us. She joined me on my Twitch live DJ stream last night, where I DJ'd from like about 9 p.m. to like 2 a.m. or something like that. got a little toasty on camera, but Anne was there doing what Anne does, like commenting, having a great time, partying with us and stuff like that. And for the record, I did not sleep in the bar. Okay, I do not have.
You're still there though.
Yeah, no, I'm still there. It's like I never left. No, but I mean, like I have access to the bar in obviously in the wake of being like a manager and a bartender here and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not like I don't have a.
But Sean, you can say I can be your bartender. You can be our bartender.
No, I was doing all kinds of silly shit last night because I set up the camera kind of like with the bar kind of like positioned in the back and stuff like that, and I was like taking orders, and I was like filling like there was like I'll get a shot of whiskey, and I was like filling up whiskey, like I was filling up shot glasses with like cranberry juice and like passing it to people on camera and shit. It was really like pathetic / awesome /
that's great.
Cute as hell. Yeah.
But there is so much cool content like that on Twitch, by the way. It's not just people gaming, but there's people like writing music or doing like cooking shows and shit.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like if there is one upside, and this goes for us.
one single.
No, seriously. I mean, there's not very many of them, but if there was one upside, and this goes to our collaboration with you, Kyle, and that I've been very grateful for, is the fact that it kind of has pushed people into different corners, and then in ways to express themselves, they figured out how to make that happen. You know what I mean? And so, and that's been the most heartwarming thing about this whole thing. So again, thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for joining us. You guys are awesome. I see Dustin, his sun's out, guns out, baby.
I got a dog in my lap, and he's so hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
This dog.
Oh.
So Dustin is now a host because he's overheating.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Morgan is the only one that's not a host.
Morgan's the only one. Yeah. Oh my God. So what else? So what else are we thinking about tonight? What else are we?
Yeah, Morgan. What is like some of like the wacky, zany, a big prediction that you have for tonight, as far as like theory goes, or something shocking?
I think we're gonna meet Jean-Mi, or is that his name? Am I pronouncing that right?
Jean-Mi, yeah, Serac's brother.
I think we're gonna meet him, and maybe we have already met him, but I don't know who. Like I feel like you can be like,
you think like he's still alive?
Not alive. He's just
like, or like
because
his body. Yeah, we've seen him in flashbacks.
He was cryogenically frozen.
I don't know, but I just have a feeling that Jean-Mi's going to be a big part of this finale.
Because he was re-educated, right? Like we saw him there.
Yeah. So
sorry. Go ahead, Marie.
I don't know. Can they like? I don't know.
Transferring human consciousness seems to have been a difficult thing because they couldn't do it. I mean, William couldn't do it with James Delos, but he said, "Hey, wait a few years, we'll have figured it out."
And also, Jean-Mi is like one very, very particular. Like his mind is like no other human mind on Earth. He's very special.
I mean, like we've discussed this.
Even though he had like mental health stuff going on, I feel like that could have just been because he could see designing this Rehoboam machine. Like
there's that kind of the mad savant type of.
And I wonder if that would make him a little bit easier to put into a host body.
You know what's really interesting that you just piqued my interest on, Morgan, and this is I don't know if this is going to happen, but William and Jean-Mi have a lot in common.
Oh no.
And because look at Jean-Mi, he created this system, right? And then we see Rehoboam calculate out this. He's like, but he like kind of went crazy. And then William kind of has this like disassociative memory thing that Caleb has. All three of them have something in common, actually. That's really weird. I don't know, but like it would be interesting if we see a Jean-Mi kind of like, because Serac was like, no, like like don't destroy the system. Like we got to keep it going. Like you can't be close to it. You know what I mean? And now William's like got to destroy El Host. I'm wondering if we kind of see a similar type of thing with Jean-Mi. If we do see him like, the system I created is not good. You know, that kind of sentiment.
Yeah. I could see that'd be a scary team up.
That'd be a scary team up. Is probably, maybe that's what they should do. Just don't say Westworld 4 for season 4. Just say Westworld scary team up.
Well, and then I'm also wondering, I'm like, all those people, all the outliers. I think there might be a reveal about what they're using them for, and it might not just be taking them out of the game is one thing, but it's like, I don't know. I just feel like they're all hooked up together. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like
powering some bigger system.
Yeah.
Not like the Matrix, like not like they're being batteries. I'm saying like their consciousness. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
it's like an information pool of some kind. Is that kind of what
feels like they'd be used for something besides
two minds are better than one.
Totally. I was gonna say. So here's another thing that I wanted to get everybody's tick on a little bit. Is do we give a shit as long do we care as long as Maeve and Dolores eventually team up and stop fighting and fucking go after this guy Serac? Because I think that, or what I think it's going to be is there's going to be some type of thing where they're going to get Serac out of the way. Because I think it's possible that he gets got and he dies this episode. Or they keep him around because he's really, really great. It kind of depends on what avenue they decide to take with, like,
if there's a cliffhanger or not.
If he's is he a man, is he Rehoboam, is he just a hologram, like whatever that type of shit is. But like do we think that that the gals are gonna stop fighting and understand that like we got to go after this guy together?
What's really interesting, if I can kind of pry Dustin, Morgan, your minds on this, like HBO, what we saw with Thrones, the penultimate episode of the season was kind of the one where the most action, biggest things happen. But I have a feeling like that's going to be tonight because we have 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
been.
And we have 2 last episodes, right?
Yeah, the penultimate usually is where they put all the big budget, and the last episode is kind of a tie-up. I think this is going to be the big budget blowout.
Yeah.
And just the runtime would it kind of indicates that as well.
We haven't spoke about Charlotte Hale at all this stream, and I think we should because in the trailer, she looks Charlotte the unburnt.
For real.
Oh my God, Charlotte is a Targaryen. We found
That's
it. Yeah,
she is the Azor Ahai. Oh yeah,
fire in milk.
Maybe she bathed in the host milk and she's all she was reborn amidst milk. No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but she looks like she's employing a team. I don't know. I feel like she's going to make a power move, some sort of power move. She's going to be in a position. I think she's going to survive. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on Charloris?
I'm wondering if they're like positioning Charloris to be one of the end foils that the Maeve and Dolores are going to have to unite to stop. Because if you think about it, I mean, they just that scene where she crushes Maeve's fella's pearl.
Yeah,
it seemed really important to like establish that Maeve and Charloris do not get along, and they never will.
Yeah,
because they lingered on it. It was this big emotional thing. They brought back that actor just so he could die, so that she could be sad. I just really feel like Charloris is going to be kind of positioned as a baddie, with as much as anyone can be good or bad in this show.
Kind of like Tyrion and Jon Snow taking down Daenerys a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, not a thing that they want to do, but kind of have to.
Right. Or it'll be like, but they'll actually, they'll have positioned themselves in a way where they have an entire season to explore that very complex issue.
Oh, that would be sweet. I'd be down for that.
2 episodes.
Because we did kind of we've talked about this a couple times now. The idea of season 1 and 2 being one story, kind of one act. And then season 3 and 4 being the second act, and then season 5, if we get one, being the last act, the final one, because we are getting a season 4 that was announced like 2 weeks ago. So that's kind of a thing that we kind of got to consider too, right, Dustin?
That's true. That's true. It colors and flavors kind of everything that you have. Because I remember we kind of, it sort of, Westworld has been successful, but it's kind of like moderately. It's not a smash.
There's like a weird, like full-on, like cinematic, like trailer happening outside our front. Like somebody's like riding down the street, like blasting like Wagner. What?
So we apologize.
I thought it was an ice cream. I thought it was one of those ice cream trucks.
Oh,
it sounded like.
Oh my God!
Those cute things, like they're
like doing a parade for somebody's birthday or something, but it's like, what are you guys doing?
Parade?
Go to your home.
Social distancing.
No, people have been like doing drive car. They'll decorate their cars and like they beep like it's the apocalypse, and it freaks me the heck out because I'm always like,
what is the apocalypse?
I know, but it's like they're just like beeping like in a scene where everyone's fleeing a city, and I'm like, what are we fleeing the city?
Yeah.
And then it's just some dumb little kid's birthday.
By the way, everyone, 2036 is my year. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, we got to keep it.
2020 is definitely not.
Keep it on the horizon. Yeah, do not say that this year is your year, because then that basically guarantees that
you will summon kaiju. Which will have xenomorphs everywhere. We don't want that.
Okay, it's gone now.
It's called rain xenomorphs.
Isn't there like killer hornets in the United States now or some shit? Like,
I'll tell you what. Now, I'll tell you this, because fuck it, who cares? I mean, like, let's just do it. If you got it, like, just rain poisonous, like, hornets and
rain poisonous hornets.
Yeah, do it.
Just do it. Like, let's go.
We'll get it over with.
Just like bring out like it rains like poisonous fucking menstrual blood from the sky. Like, who gives a shit? Like, whatever. Like,
people keep saying like on like Twitter, they're always like, "Okay, guys, can you hurry up and finish your game of Jumanji now?" Because we are over it.
No, but going back to like what we think is going to happen in this as far as endgame shit. I think a very, very interesting prospect. It's like, do we think that Maeve and Dolores are going to team up? Do we think that that's going to happen?
Well, they've opposed them all season, right?
Yeah, and I think that there's going to have to be a little. I think they're going to fight like one more time.
And they both got knocked out at the end of the episode. They're kind of like bleeding out stuff and like whatever. They're red whitish milk. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was like a mix of the two last episode.
I wonder. See, that's another thing that I'm kind of wondering is like, because there's very much like a beat, like they all fell down and they're going to wake up. How much time has passed? Who's going to have them? Where are they going to be? You know what I mean? Like, is Caleb?
I have no idea.
Are they going to seriously? Like, are they going to be in the care of Caleb? Are they going to be in the care of Serac? Like, there's a lot of when you do that as a device is going to be interesting as far as like when they come to and when they wake up, where they find themselves. I mean,
also, and as a viewer, it's completely disorienting because this show loves to like play around with timelines and locations. They loves to. So if we get a scene where like Maeve or Dolores are just waking up, like not on where we last left them, if they like wake up somewhere, I'm gonna question everything about where they are, when they are.
Sure.
Are they at all? Are they?
I wonder if Future World is the 5th park and it's in Berlin.
Oh, like Euro Disney.
That is true. Could be, because we that's the thing. We keep talking about this host in Berlin and this other park. And I think that's
we haven't saw it yet.
And I think that's what I'm saying. We got these two things that we haven't seen yet, and I do think that is going to be a reveal. I think probably this episode, and it's going to be the kind of the springboard for season 4. Is what I'm thinking it's going to be.
Would they like for season 4? They'll just change the name of the series to Future World.
That would be fun. Well, that's exactly what they did with the sequel to Westworld, the Westworld movie, which would be interesting. Insofar as just branding, I mean, like
I don't think they would. I don't think they would, though. They never changed the name of Game of Thrones, right?
I mean, like they saw what fucking happened to Birds of Prey. They're not going to fucking do that shit. Like,
Also, I don't think we're going to get that big of a setup. I think it's going to be a little more mysterious for the setup for season 4 because I don't think that they knew necessarily that season 4 was coming.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that they're going to leave it a little bit like mysterious and open ended.
Yeah, they're kind of having.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there has to be a lot of. Like they could leave it on cliffhangers. Like there could some stuff won't get resolved because there's a lot that has to happen. But there's definitely going to be because we're in the real world now, and then the idea of going back to Westworld is kind of interesting. I don't think that's going to happen. They kind of moved on from that this season. They went with the more kind of Blade Runner-y. I don't want to say Blade Runner, but that kind of approach.
Totally.
So it's really interesting to see. Definitely where they will go with it for season 4.
I think if we do get a season 5, that's when we go back to Westworld. Once we explore this new park, once we do you know what I mean?
The hero's journey return to Elixir.
I think so. I mean, I think there might be something. It would. I know because I remember just for a minute because I'm stupid. I remember for a minute when they were jumping on the plane, I thought that they were going back to Westworld.
Oh, for sure.
To go get something.
And a lot of people thought that.
They forgot their iPhone charger.
Yeah.
Right. Well, shit. I mean, that's the other thing is that Caleb has the one USB drive to rule them all. He's got that. He's got Solomon on a little jump drive.
Oh yeah.
And that's where that's the one thing that I think is going to be very interesting to see where that comes in, where it's going to be like some fucking Winter Soldier. We got to plug this into the machine and then it's going to not, it won't target and stuff. I think it's going to be, it'll be, I think he's going to break off. She's going to be like, you have to go do this. I got to deal with Maeve and stuff.
Okay. Well, one thing that we need to discuss a little bit is the EMP, the electromagnetic pulse that happened at the end of the last episode. Maybe we could see more of something interesting like that happen, because how would William deal with all the hosts? He's Garrett, hand-to-hand combat's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
That certainly is something, right? Which would deal with Rehoboam as well, maybe, if they can find a way to do that.
Man, just take out all of that technology.
Yeah.
Imagine and then the world goes back to Westworld-y type of terms, the human world.
No, wouldn't that be fucked up? Is it's that would be fucking crazy.
Well, we tried that with the show Revolutions, and spoiler, not a good show.
Yeah,
no, but
we really tried with that show.
Wouldn't that be interesting though? Is if within Dolores' kind of master plan, she kind of inadvertently, whether or not she's actually trying to do it or not, but because she kind of sets society in on itself and makes it, because obviously you can see there's a lot of chaos going, there's a lot of kind of destruction, and people are things are kind of going rampant, but in kind of collapsing the kind of modern world, it kind of almost makes the entire planet Westworld anyway, where it's a lot more analog. It's not she shuts the fucking grid off and shit, and all of a sudden people got to work the land and all that type of shit. I think that could be something that could be a part of her end game, where it's I'm going to make this entire fucking planet Westworld. This whole you all have to live in my fucking house.
You know what though? One thing that we have to consider about the triangles and what Ford said, he spoke about kind of the hierarchy of consciousness. Solomon seemed conscious. Has that been achieved?
Absolutely.
With Rehoboam, that's if those. Because if that's the case, then that's a big problem for humans, because that thing is at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean, oh, man. I mean,
that has to get dealt with for sure.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I don't think that they would bring it up, that they would make, really put an insignia on it so hard in the show and not kind of deal with it in some way. I think that's absolutely in the cards for sure. Yeah, I think that's gonna be fucking. I think that's gonna be really interesting. By
the way, after your thoughts, Sean, let's get into some questions. We have another donation. I think we'll questions from chat. We'll get into some fun.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. So we got another donation. Mora is the reason. Oh, thanks again, Mora. By the way, for all of you that don't know Mora, one of the top supporters on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, of course, you can find that in the description of the video. But Mora is super generous. Like,
support your local.
You don't have to donate every stream, Mora. I just wanted to let you know that we love you regardless.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into this question. And then people, if we missed your question, feel free to post them again. We'll try to get to it.
We'll get back to it.
Is the reason that Serac wanted the human mapping data from Dolores was so he could cure the folks frozen in the pods, including his brother? Cure them?
It would almost that would actually be a lovely, more humanizing twist on Serac that I think.
But we saw on the tablet though, Sean, eliminate the trait. Remember, it talked about the traits. It said eliminate,
sure,
or like 10 to 12 years, or at least put it on a path to where put it on a path to where it wouldn't be relevant. Like that human would be dead to 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
I mean, like
the recessive trait part on the tablet.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was just I do think that is a very interesting idea that there would be like that you could find a. Because I do think that the brother John Mee is that the brother's name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think that John Mee provides the only chink in the armor of Serac emotionally. I think, like in the story, it's like the one thing that he has any type of that where he kind of shows any type of frailty at all, or where he kind of would waver in his kind of singular quest or whatever, and that's what makes it even more powerful when he decides to like, you're fucking crazy. I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting that you say that, Sean, because his intent is a little bit different than Serac's. Because Anne makes an interesting point in the comment section. Let me put it up here.
Great
she
question.
Says not. Anne is amazing, by the way. Not cure them more to fix them like how he wants, which is very similar in how Ford was trying to make his the idea of creation in his image, in his mind, and what he thinks is acceptable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think John Mee is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum and Serac, and that's why Serac sent him to be re-educated, because maybe he was trying to save all of these people, like, because he ended up frozen like them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe Serac was like, no, that's not time. That's not efficient. We can't do that. Like, we have to do something where, you know what I mean, on a more massive scale.
I could maybe see him trying to save his brother, but I don't think he gives a flying whatever about all those frozen people.
And Solomon says the only reason that they didn't just kill them, and the only reason they're keeping them alive, is because they are outliers, and by killing them, it actually offsets all of the other probabilities. So they just take them out of the equation.
Yeah.
So it's one less thing that he has to calculate.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what we're going to ask the question then, is what Serac's doing better than death? Because that's essentially, like, I mean, they're not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Insofar as that you could be brought back to life, possibly, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah,
you know
preserving the human, that's a good thing. Living longer is definitely good. But I mean, like, are they sent to a virtual, like, are they in the land beyond type deal? You know what I mean? Like,
it comes back to the whole same kind of question that they dealt with, like, with Watchmen, where it's, yeah, are you saving a lot of lives by making bad things not happen, but you're also like, it's immoral what you're doing by taking away free will. And so when you accept that letting people have free will is the only moral way to go, you're also condemning a lot of people to die in atrocities. So it's like, it's this whole like philosophy of like,
it's
the lesser evil. Yeah.
It's a good meaty tug of war.
I'm not smart enough to figure it out. So the Ozymandiases of the world figure that one out.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like here in America. You know, you got your Second Amendment. You got your, you have the right to bear arms. Just don't shoot anybody with them.
Yeah,
I
had this argument with someone earlier. Someone, and it's been repeated to me a few different times. And this person says, my liberty, being able to enact my liberty, is more important. Like, is more important than, like, people's safety.
Your right to live.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get the idea of freedom being very important and all of that. But if you are out there enacting this so-called idea of liberty that you think, and it puts other people in harm's way, then you are harming their liberties and safety.
Well, everybody
you know what I mean? Like,
everybody fucking just forgets the fact that like societies just kind of figure out how to govern themselves, and we uniformly decided that like killing a dude is like not chill. So like, you know what I mean? So we all just kind of looked around. It's like you shouldn't just
be killing.
But, okay, but on that question, is putting a guy in a cryogenic pod for eternity chill?
No,
chat, we need to do a poll in chat. Chilling or killing?
Are you pro chill or are you pro kill?
Yeah,
pro kill. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I do think that. Here's another thing. Going back to the EMP, so that EMP, took out Maeve and Dolores. Did it take out all the other things that were within a range? Like, are we gonna have like? Did it shut off the thing, and then all of a sudden, like in the beginning of Alien, like all these fucking outliers just woke up because they got taken off?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was wondering. I thought was Dolores. Was she waking everybody up? Because that would be.
Because that's the thing.
An outlier bomb.
Because
essentially she's telling Caleb to wake up, and I mean, he's an outlier, but he's still like not frozen.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I like that. Insofar as like that would be it'd be almost like. It's like the analog way of maybe like spreading a virus or something like that. Insofar as Serac's design, where it's like all of a sudden I freed all these outliers, and they're going to go around and they're
computer bugs,
and they're going to outlie the fuck out of everything that's going on, and they're going to outlie here and they're going to outlie there and all that stuff, and it's going to fuck your. You like that?
Oh my God! Call me Blondie just said, "Free the popsicle people."
Yeah, I mean, I'm pro freeing the popsicle people.
Yeah,
outliers got to outlie, man.
Let them outlie.
Wow.
So I think that
that is ruthless.
Let them lie out.
Well, I think that Chekhov's outliers. That's another good one from Richard Cheney. I like that. I think that would be an interesting, chaotic, like, and again, like, or it would be something that Dolores could do as like maybe even as a diversion, like all these outliers. Now these people are out in the system, and you got to deal with them. And then so insofar as Serac has to deal with that, and then she can circumvent and flank him in some other move that I'm sure we're likely to see in this new episode. Yeah, I think that's in the cards for fucking sure.
Well, there's definitely still one question we didn't get to that started up at the top of the show. That somebody, was it Mora asked for it, or
say that again?
Somebody asked. There was a question about like one of our favorite characters.
Oh, that was Carson had to take off. Yeah, but I left the comment there. So let's get to that, Dustin. Why don't you start?
Well, because we had talked about this similarly last week about like our favorite character arc, and I think my favorite just person or real actress is Tandy Newton. She's amazing. But I can't say that I like her story arc all the way through, but I love her character so much. And I love like how badass she is. I don't like her motivation because I don't identify with, trying to get my child to the promised land. I famously don't like children. So like, I don't give a shit about your stupid child.
She's a cool robot child.
I mean,
that's true. It's a robot child.
You don't have to send her to college because she never grows up.
Imagine a child where you can be like, take yourself online. Like, every single parent in that comment just fucking cream their fucking jeans right there. Like at the thought of like, I could turn my kid off. That would be amazing. That would be so great. Yeah. So robot children can be pretty fucking cool. But so Maeve has been.
I'm going for she's my favorite character, but I think my favorite from this season is definitely Chard Loris. I think like she's my favorite from this season.
Yeah,
those are my answers. I think it's because we're like quarantined together, and we're just like having these conversations, and I think we're all just like, I love Maeve so much.
We're breathing the same Westworld air.
We are. So
Bunny has an amazing comment / question. She says, we know that Johnny is in the pod in Serac's memory, like we saw in the last episode. But we see him in the creepy glass IKEA show bedroom in the re-education center. So When did Serac choose
to
do that?
To put him on ice, huh?
Because like he must have been one that was really not affected, like because we see all those people in pods are the ones that they weren't able to re-educate.
Yeah, right. Where they
right?
yeah, like they.
So how many people are re-educated is the oh my god.
That's another.
Yeah, that's a lot of questions.
Seriously, like is that a thing like with like where it's like, oh, you take your little take your little, what are those things called? Those little digital little wafers or whatever.
Digital bodies of Christ.
Yeah, digital bodies of Christ. Yeah, right. And then like so they take their little digital sacrament and then they pop it in there, and then all of a sudden it like takes like the re-education away. That would be fucking interesting. And then all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute, I'm not who I think I am. That'd be another thing. Like are those outliers that are back in the system, are we going to potentially Calebify them and
wake them all up?
Yeah, I mean, like, so there's a couple of things, because that's the other thing. It's like not all the outliers are just pod people. There are a bunch of them that are still in the real world.
Well, do we know because they've seen their little files? Would the file tell them if they've been re-educated?
That could be it. That could be something.
Well, Giancarlo is mentioning in chat, he says that was after the reconditioning attempts at him, I think. After it failed, he ended up in the pod.
I think that makes sense. I think
that makes the most sense, I think.
Well, I think that he also, because I think that Jean-Mi was like kind of the ultimate outlier. He's like outlier prime in a way, where it's like they kind of, they're like, let's try to re-educate this guy. Let's try to reprogram this guy. Let's see if we can get him to fly fucking right and not go crazy and do what I want him to do. This is Serac.
Like Delos.
Yeah, but he invented the system. So how do you re-educate someone using their invention? That's impossible.
Bunny also says, when Serac says the man I was no longer exists, does this mean he was re-educated? He is dead. He has uploaded his consciousness to Rehoboam, a la Ford uploading to the cradle.
I think
I feel like that would be.
It plays to the hologram kind of beats that we've had. It plays completely to something that I could see that character deciding to do, where he's just like, fuck it. Fuck this stupid fucking body that like I have to eat and it pisses and shits. Fuck this stupid fucking thing. Like I'm gonna go and like I'm gonna upload myself into this thing and I'm gonna become God. Like he keeps talking about how like we wanted to create a God. Wouldn't it stand to reason that he would think that he would anoint that upon himself? And so I think that is absolute. Like
Felix brings up a good point here, Sean, related to what you're saying. Serac put his brother into the pod the moment he decided to make the final strategy, because the strategy, like Jean-Mi, was a fuck up for him. He knew that he was the outlier. In the same way that Caleb, that's how Dolores identified Caleb as a way to kind of screw up all of Serac's plan.
I could see that for sure.
Because he was an outlier. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that and also that kind of goes back to my thing, like insofar as like kind of, there's literally like you're talking about yin and yang and stuff like that. There is a mirror chaotic image of Rehoboam in Solomon, and that brother is plugged in, unless he's somewhere else, whatever. But he's plugged into that. It totally stands to reason that Serac would be literally inside and living within Rehoboam. I think if I was a betting man, if I'm sitting there and rolling up my paper at the tracks or whatever, I'd be putting my money on that. Put my money on that one.
Call Vegas, get him on the horn.
Oh my God! Ever like an uncut gems moment? Let me get 2 points on the tip off. Dolores gets the one thing. Remember, like he's making. Yeah, this is how I win. Yeah, for sure. But that's what if there was one thing that I would bet a lot on, is the fact that I think that it's going to be revealed that Serac is not alive
in the computer.
It's in the computer.
I really like, for me, Charlotte Hale. Like, it's been Tessa Thompson and Charlotte Hale this season. Yeah, that's been like really intriguing.
Because that was what I was going to say. I mean,
it's really interesting, because the reason why I like it so much is because when Dolores copies herself into the other pearls, they're experiencing that other person's life that would naturally be there. We talked about the absence of field and what that means. Something that would otherwise be there is not. It's like the lack of that, and we see the reflection within, Charlotte Hale's kid and her relationships and stuff like that. So the focus on relationships has been really interesting this season and kind of really a nice highlight, I think. And they've been really well written, I find, with the, I have minor quip with some of them.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I think Tessa Thompson has been an MVP this season.
I think so.
Yeah.
I without a doubt. I think that I think we're all breathing the same breathing the same Charlotte air because
she's gonna go Darth Vader mode now and get even more popular.
She's gonna get the red eye contacts and stuff like that and start killing you. Yeah, dude. No, but like I think that insofar as this season is concerned, I think that like the two kind of big new the three kind of big new characters that we've kind of put into this story has been Serac, Caleb, and Charlotte, like for lack of a better term. Even though Tessa Thompson was in season 2, she was very kind of
a different character. For
sure.
Totally.
And so, and
by the way, an amazing job too, like having to be yourself as an actress, but having to be the idea of Dolores in another character in your body, like that's just like acting Olympics, like they say.
It's crazy. I mean, like, and it's explored. It's kind of it's expanded the world insofar as like what you're able to do with these pearls and what you're able to do insofar as copying hosts and stuff like that. It's the most interesting sci-fi concept is the fact that like. Yeah, I copied all my selves. She's almost like an outlier for Dolores in a way. Like, because Dolores, everybody else is kind of like doing their own thing and they're kind of sticking with the plan and they're very focused and there's no real kind of, they don't have any second guesses on it, except for Charlotte. She's Dolores's outlier. And she's like, no, I care about my family. I'm growing into a whole entity unto myself. And that emotional journey has been easily the fucking most captivating of the season by far. I mean, like, and then also just like second favorite though, Serac, baby. That guy's good. I mean, like, even though he's kind of one note, he is Vincent Cassel is such a smarmy fucking asshole, and he's so good at it, and he can play it so well. Yeah. But yet, he's so like smokily Frenchly attractive and shit like that. That's the spoonful of sugar that makes all that dickhead energy go.
Well, one thing that's another question. We got another question from Maura, by the way. She asked if Stubbs is a Serac mole, and other people have asked about Caleb too. So Stubbs still working for Bernard or for Dolores or Serac? What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, I like that.
I think he's working. I don't trust that Stubbs. He's some sort of double agent. I don't know what kind, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but also to that point, Morgan, like, I mean, fucking Bernard might kind of be.
I don't want that.
I don't want that.
Not like he's not sitting there twirling a mustache, but insofar as he's like. He's working within Dolores's design. Like he's doing it, but he doesn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I'm a little afraid of.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that from Bernard. I'm tired of that story.
I want Bernard to just have his goal and to do his goal and it not to be someone else's.
Right. I don't think they're going to use that narrative again. I agree with Dustin. I don't think like that would just, I think like true hardcore fans of the show would be like, again, you know what I mean? And there's kind of already been like,
do the same trick twice.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But there is, I mean, he could have the encryption key inside of him.
Sure.
That's interesting.
I think that he's going to be a conduit within that thing, but hopefully at some point, I think we all just we like Bernard, and I think we just root for the fact that we just want him to have like a bit more agency, I think, like within his own story. Mm-hmm. The free will thing. We want him to have free will. You know what I mean? So I think that's and hopefully they pivot and make a move towards that. You know,
something that's really interesting. Maud Mary actually says the problem I have with season 3, the main focus characters, I really don't like or care about. Like I do see some people like because of the Maeve. Like Maeve was like always like in the first 2 seasons, her story was amazing. Yeah. That's kind of been something. Like then there's been more focus on Caleb instead of William. So they've kind of had to like as for the plot of the season, where they're taking the plot and where they're trying to get to the last episode, they've kind of had to sacrifice some of this. I mean, we didn't get Teddy yet, if there is a Teddy this season. So I understand that.
I can see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it is like, because we're talking about like we have characters that we've gone on a several season journey with, and obviously we have more. I have more. Like I'm investing more in Maeve, in Dolores, in William, simply because I've just done the time. Now I don't think that I think that Caleb and Aaron Paul. I think he's done well given the material and stuff like that, or as well as the show's allowed him to give. But I think it's really tough to kind of, I mean, because changing,
because we left Westworld, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and they have to develop future seasons, right? Like Anna's saying in chat,
you kind of had to do it, and so I think that even though I think that I'll say this, like, because we all agree that we love Maeve, but they have kind of just used her as like a
Serac pawn.
Yeah, like as like a conduit for fucking. Well, it's like a conduit for just like cool scenes. Like, who wants to kill some Nazis? I do.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, they've kind of been a little tepid in how they've utilized her. Tandy Newton, can still just come up and perform. She's almost like Bronn. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like, insofar as like, I don't really know why you're in this story, or like, you don't have to be in this story as much, or it's not as pertinent, but I like you a lot, so that's fine.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that with Maeve, but I think that they're moving towards some meaty stuff, hopefully in the setup for season 4, that I think could be really interesting with her.
Well, let's finish the stream around that area then, because like there's going to be some resolution, we think. We're not sure.
Like, I do like, we got some Caleb stands in the comments though. It's like, I like it because I do.
No, Aaron Paul has been great. Caleb has been
like
great.
Caleb. I just don't think that I just think that it is hard given like just the longevity of some of the things that we've had.
I think this episode will reveal a lot too. Yeah. And we'll be like, oh, okay. And then I think we'll look back on the season and be like, oh, that's why they made this choice and that choice. And I think we will reflect on what we're saying now and look more positively.
Yeah, maybe he'll be like that neighbor that they introduce in season 3 when the ratings start to fail, and they get like the kooky neighbor that shows up, and everybody's like, the neighbor's the best. He like Urkel's the coolest. Like he's basically like the savior of maybe in season 4 and 5. He's the main breakout star.
Right.
Nobody remembers any of the other kids from Family Matters. They only remember Urkel. So maybe
Caleb, Caleb like completely fucking like wrecks the world and totally doesn't. He leaves humanity and just sits there. It's like, did I do that?
Yeah. Caleb is the Urkel, and then we're gonna completely forget about William and Dolores and all those other. We don't need them.
Totally. Wait. So what? Sorry, we went on a little tangent. What you were getting ready to give us a what was the prompt then again, Kyle?
Say that again.
I said, what you were setting us up for a prompt before we.
Yeah, no, just like, because I guess this kind of leads into this question: are we getting a cliffhanger or not? Because like, how much are we? Like, we know there's only a certain amount of, like, this is kind of the same question I guess that was posed at the end of Game of Thrones season 8. Like, how if we had more episodes, like, where could they have taken the story? But now we know we're getting a season 4, so it's really interesting. Like, do like some of the number 1s get taken out? We have people like Maeve. Like, I don't want to say Maeve is a number 2, but right now she is.
Yeah.
Or like Charloris, like the Calebs and Charloris kind of rise to the top. You know what I mean? And then we have like a big death, like a Dolores. Is there something like? Because I think we're gonna have a big death tonight. I think it's gonna be Dolores.
I think so. I don't think it'll be Maeve. That's the only one that I'm liking her odds. Although, no, because she just wants to go to the Valley Beyond.
Sure. Could we see Dolores and Maeve bite the dust?
I know they just go to the Valley Beyond. Dolores,
like they might do a red wedding type
and...
shit tonight. Like, they might do some red wedding type shit tonight.
Man,
Dustin. Oh, I see Dustin's face. I want to hear your
what do you got? What do you got, D?
It doesn't work. I mean, it because we can just, unless they crush their pearls. Like,
well, no, if they go to the Valley Beyond, that in practical terms, the pearls don't work anymore. Like, they can't get Teddy back. Like, there's no, I think, isn't that how the pearls work? Like, to the Valley Beyond. You can't. That's it. They are in the Valley Beyond.
It seems like that's Robo Heaven. Like once
that's
you're
Robo
fucking
Heaven. So any characters we see go there,
you kind of can't.
Or Rohala, if you want to say it. Yeah.
Great.
So a lot of people are saying Dolores survives because, in the trailer too, like one of the secret trailers, they showed Dolores dressing her old-ish body, her older version of herself. So a lot of people are saying Dolores is fine. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be a crazy ballsy move. Kill all of the cast. Season 4 is like back in Westworld for whatever those guys are up to, like, and it's all other hosts.
No, I don't think that can happen.
That would be
over again, and it's the host figuring out their host again.
It would be ballsy. I mean, like, I'll say this,
like American Horror Story
I
shit,
know.
right?
Like,
so it's completely different.
I know.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm like, it would be ballsy though.
Yeah. Right. No, I think Stubbs is out. I think Stubbs is gonna die in some. I think Stubbs is done.
It's not a big death.
No, it's not a big death, but he's gonna be like a Dolores head. Like he's gonna get killed. I think. I think that, man, it would be interesting. I still think that I want to see a weird, like, kind of like very wary of each other, but like, but we got to work together. Alliance between William and Dolores. That would be fun. I mean, the tension within that relationship, and there's so much melodramatic potential that you could kind of get out of that, and to what they have to do. Like, what if Serac like fucking beats them, and they realize that they have to do it again. Like, it's like,
that's what I'm saying. Season 3 and 4 could be one story. Like, we could have this moment where like Rehoboam becomes Ultron, and like the thing we see Serac is actually a printed version of Rehoboam or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something
100%.
Like, because season 1 and 2 were one story. We got out of the park, but now we're in the real world. So like I'm just thinking in terms of 3-act structure of storytelling here. Season 1 and 2, Act 1. Season 3 and 4, Act 2. Season 5, if we get it, Act 3.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean, like, I just think that could be that. Yeah, I think that could be something. Yeah, because I don't think that Maeve's going to bite it. I think that I think that we're positioning ourselves as like a Maeve and Dolores versus Charlores, because Charlores has been fucked by everybody.
Because someone has to rise to the top, right?
Right. And like Charlores hates everyone. She's like, fuck Serac for
broken.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, fuck Serac for killing my family. Fuck you, Dolores, for fucking, for putting me in this position, and just basically sending me on a suicide mission, and just telling me to walk it off, kid. I know you're going out. I know you're going crazy, and you're like becoming a new sentient person with an identity and feelings and hopes and dreams and all that. But like, so that's I think we've created Darth Vader a little bit there, and I think that's what's going to be the setup. It's going to be Charlores versus the world. I think is what's going to be coming up for season 4.
Samael Morningstar says that's gambling. Season 4 would be okay. They got it, but would be a gamble to leave the cliffhanger on at this point. Like, we have to ask the question, like, HBO knows that Westworld is kind of like its after Thrones show. So maybe season 4 was greenlit a lot earlier than we thought.
Yeah. Maybe,
you know what I mean? And they just announced it now.
Well, they could always do the thing like where we're kind of, there's a lot of things like where they will like ink like a tentative agreement, and they'll be like, and then we're gonna announce it about 5 weeks in or whatever it is. Because I do think that they've also, studios have realized the kind of weird reaction from people from like the press of getting a renewed season
before it even starts.
Before the fucking season is even over. They did that with Picard, and it kind of
ruined it.
It took a lot of, because there's in the show, the main character, like some stuff happens to him that's pretty finite and final. But we know that there's a season 2, so we're like, whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a smart move to hold off on that, just so people, so they can't go
build the tension.
Yeah, they can't vault forward in that way. And yeah, so I think that I don't think that it, but I also think possibly that they kind of didn't know if they were going to get it. It was also possible they didn't know they were going to get a season 4 either. It's kind of like The Wire back in the day. Like they were constantly every season. They were like, is this the last one? And so every time they ended, it kind of feels like the last season, or it could have ended. You know what I mean? So, but I'm glad that we're getting to season 4 because it's going to be Charlotte versus the world. It's going to be great. Which means if I said it, that means that it's not going to happen.
So
I worry that they're like, oh well, we didn't even know that Charlotte was so well received. I wonder if they didn't know, like, because she's such a good character, and if they end up killing her in the finale, I'm gonna be so sad.
I actually think she's gonna rise. I think she's gonna be in the position of like second or most. Like she's gonna have a lot of power at the end of the season.
All right, good.
That shot at the end when she's on the phone and she's just in shadow and stuff like that. I mean, that was like I just started to hear.
She has the Darth Vader cape too. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, like I just started to hear that as soon as she fucking showed up on screen. So I think that. I think that it's going to be, and plus that's just a great dramatic like kind of pitting against one another is having her be a bit of the maybe not the villain, but like but having to have them pit them against one another.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good. No matter what we get, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So let's do this. To end the stream with some hype, let's do a prediction each for tonight's episode. Doesn't matter if we get it right or wrong, people, because chances are it's going to be wrong. Yeah. But let's go with that. And but before we do that, thanks everyone for joining us. Been a super fun stream. Lots of great comments, questions from the chat. Just a really overall fun conversation. And tonight's episode is going to be really good. Yeah. That is one thing that we know for sure.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's definitely, I mean, it's all been leading up to this, and I'm just going to be, just doing all these awesome streams with you, Kyle. And again, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me on your channel.
Absolutely. First, but it's feeding into this whole thing where it's like, it's going to be, I'm not going to be any more. I will not have been more captivated by this show than I will be tonight when it starts. But so you want to do predictions? Do you want to start or do you want to end? Do you want to end? We'll end with your prediction, Kyle.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with Serac is Rehoboam. I'm putting my money down.
Damn it.
Right now,
we're all breathing the same air.
Okay, no.
I mean, that was 1,000% mine.
1,000%
is Rehoboam.
Well, I got another one that I am. So like the Rehoboam one, and then Charlotte is kind of positioned as the big as not a big bad, but like as like a antagonist for within the story for next season. That's what I'm putting my money down. I'm rolling up my paper. I'm going to slap it against the thing once the dogs start running. I'm putting my money down on that.
That's 2, but that's cool.
Yeah.
The more the better.
Well, I didn't want to.
No. The more the better.
Absolutely.
That's what the chat wants. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I definitely am on board for the Serac is Rehoboam at this point. I'm going to go that we're going to get a Rehoboam, Solomon, Jean-Mi, Serac like battle.
Ooh, a mind battle like Voldemort, Harry.
Yeah,
I think that there's going to be I think that like the Solomon USB drive is going to somehow fight the Rehoboam Serac.
Yeah,
like Godzilla versus Mothra.
Yeah. I like. Oh, you want to know what? I'm getting flashbacks.
Mine's on William, so you guys could go ahead.
There you go. To that point, Dustin, I'm getting flashbacks to like Scott Pilgrim versus the World when they start playing their guitars and like the big like dragon versus the gorilla and like they're fighting or whatever it is. Like that's what I'm seeing. That would be great. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mine is gonna be. I think that this whole season is about the collapse of society. So it's going to end with just kind of like you're going to see the world kind of not ending, but like the collapse of the before times. And that next season is going to be all about how they survive or thrive or work together. Like, I'm wondering if that's how they're gonna get Man in Black and Dolores to have to like.
Because there's riots in the trailer, like big bad ones.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's gonna be. This one is all about tearing down society, and then the next season's gonna be all about surviving and working together.
Death and then rebirth.
Next season? Oh,
Well,
wow.
that's
rebuilding. Yeah.
It's going to be the ending will be like, what do we do now?
Yeah,
Something
right.
like that.
Well, it's what it kind of almost happens with any revolution or any kind of big movement, where it's just like, yeah, okay, you got the thing. How do you run it? What do you do afterwards?
Yeah.
Like once you've gotten to the top of the mountain. So I think that you're right on the money with that, Mo, for sure.
So okay, this is how
I'm waiting for this one. I'm hyped for this one. Here we go. What do you got, Kyle?
I'm taking off the glasses. Okay. So here's and I thought maybe this since the earlier part of the season, Dolores put William in the thing, right? The re-education center. I don't know what fucking timeline William is in, but anyways, so Dolores's plan, whatever her plan is, William is part of that, right? And then, but William is kind of doing this thing. I think William is going to set off a giant EMP bomb, so Dolores might get to her goal, like something good may happen, then William might screw it up or something.
Oh no.
Something like that. I think, but I think William's going to do something big because he's been down all season. But William, my boy.
I do know, and also like they I think they've ended like in the last like 2 or 3 upcoming on Westworld trailers. They've like done like the weird, like the trailer edit of like the boom. I'm gonna save the fucking world. You know what I mean? Like they keep highlighting that. So I think that there's gonna be a big fucking move.
Gotta be.
So I think that you're right. I think that you're onto something with that one, Kyle, for sure.
Yeah. William is gonna have his big bang moment. He's because he found his door. And he killed all of his past selves. So he's gonna make a new decision, which is something a little bit different than we haven't seen from William.
Sure.
A line from William. So William's but that's kind of expected from me. I want to give a second one.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna.
Hey.
This is
your party, man.
This is like what the show's gonna be. It's like, but wait, there's more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be one more thing. What you got, babe?
We're gonna see Teddy tonight.
Yeah,
that's not that big of one, but whatever.
No. I think. No.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
do you think it'll be in a Westworld flashback?
I can see that.
Okay, so I don't know. No. Actually, I think he's going to be printed, or so. This is kind of a tinfoily one. Let's. He's going to be there to fuck. He's there to fuck with Dolores, regardless. Yeah. Like either Serac or Maeve. Like it has something to do with Serac. But let's say Serac wins. I could see Rehoboam printing himself as Teddy. And then Dolores having to fight that next season. That's a tinfoily version.
No.
But I think we see Teddy tonight.
No. I mean, because that kind of goes to the conflict that they were sort of setting up in season 2 that I wanted to see was, because I thought that what they were building towards was a break from Teddy and Dolores, and that they were going to have to fight one another. So that's another way for them to get there. That's another way for them to, because I mean, that just, again.
Imagine Teddy shooting Dolores in the head like Dolores shot Ford.
Oh my, or some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? Or I think it's just going to be just like the pitting of the two of them against like the poetic kind of flourish of the whole thing where the guy,
because Maeve said, "Is that you, Teddy?"
Protector.
Oh my God, could Teddy be in Berlin? Because listen to this, guys.
Could be the host.
Oh wait, we got one more. Because Maeve says to Musashi, "Is that you, Teddy?" And we still haven't seen the other host. I think Teddy is in fucking Berlin.
Yeah,
I'm calling it now. That's why. Why else would they put that in? Teddy is the guy in Berlin. I'm calling it.
And maybe it's like, yo, Teddy is the other host, and he's like running the other park. He's like the mayor of the other park or some shit like that.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Like bad of like next season.
Woo!
And maybe that would be good.
Wait, and then William is like now the good cowboy and Teddy's the bad cowboy now.
I love it. That would be great.
Wouldn't that make why Maeve said that so specifically to Musashi, and then we found the Dolores reveal, right?
Yeah.
Why? Like Maeve said that, and it really stuck out to me. The fact that she said that, like they said Teddy's name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
because we keep, and then we also get some kind of weird little romantic.
Ted Loris. Oh my God,
Ted Loris, baby.
A lot of people are saying Lawrence is in Dolores in Berlin.
Okay, sure. I mean, like, yeah, that could totally work. I think that we're going to see him in some capacity, whether or not how big or small that kind of ends up being, whether it's a flashback or whatever. I do think that James Marsden's just chiseled, lovely visage is going to be in this episode.
He has a good chin.
Oh my God. Yeah, get those eyes. He's Cyclops. He doesn't even need eyes. You just get that chin, man. Like you'll be fine, you know?
I'm checking IMDb to see
if they listed him.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I don't know.
I don't think they would spoil it.
They're not Picard again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're not Picarding it again. Or they're not. Right. What a fucking dipshit move that was. But anyway, I think you're right on the money with that, though, Cal, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing on IMDb, and I wouldn't say it anyways. I just wanted to kind of check. Everyone, it's been really Dolores. Oh my God, Ted Dolores. Anyways, enough with the names. We've done all the names this season. This was our final preview stream for the finale tonight for Westworld. It's been super duper fun. Next time we will be going on your channel, Sean, on Wednesday to recap the whole season with our minds blown. Yeah, so that will be really fun. Everybody that's watched the stream can find the information to all the awesome people that you have checked out on the stream in the description of the video. And it's everybody enjoy the episode tonight.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Leo, life's too short to get, sometimes you got your things that you really want to see happen. So, and sometimes the fact they don't happen or whatever it is. But I mean, it's the cool thing is that we get to hang out and commiserate together about it, whether or not it checks every box or whatever it is. It's just it's about the streams that we made along the way. You know what I mean?
Oh,
okay, that's a lot of information there.
So we the only person to confirm themselves that wasn't a host today was Morgan. That was pretty cool. Sean is definitely a host. By the way. Thanks for joining, everyone. It's been really fun. Thanks for all the awesome donations, questions, and comments. We will see you all in the next live stream.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Beep, bop, boop. Beep, bop.